Alright, so last season I took over as Wolves manager and hopefully taking them from the bottom of the Premier League table to, well, further up the table as we made some big generations. The first being Bayende coming in, the second being the Spanish talent and Yorome coming in to be our first and left mid. Next up, bringing Patrick Vimmer in from Wolfsburg, and our final silent managed Kierkegaard as a Swiss Army left midfielder in the team. And we made it all the way through into the FA Cup final where this goal from Arias was enough for us to go on to win the FA Cup in the final here. As you'll see, we get to lift the trophy here in a second in a big victory for us, guaranteeing ourselves Europa League football as well by winning this trophy, if I'm not mistaken, as well. That'll be big for us in the season. We also made it to the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup, but as you can see, we finished 5th in the Premier League, as you can see right there. And in terms of the players, you can see the stats of them and how well they performed last season. You can pause and check them out if you want to do so. But as always, let's get into season 2 and hopefully see more scenes like that. And to start season 2 off here, we've got a big budget to spend, which I will show you here in a second before we get into some transfers to massively improve this team. That obviously finished 5th in the Premier League table last season and also won the FA Cup, which is impressive considering Wolves today just lost 2-0 to Sunderland in the game that just happened a few, or like 20 minutes ago for me, that just finished. But as you can see, we've got 111 million to spend on brand new transfers to bring into this team before we even sell Strand Larsen and Tolo as well. That's the budget we have. Obviously, Strand Larsen is a player we're going to sell to keep the series semi-realistic. Is a player that most likely will leave Wolves in the near future, and Tolo is just a player that we haven't got along with in this team. So I feel like selling him is the best thing to do and bringing a different player to replace him in the team. Let's get into the transfer window, buy a new cam, and also some more players to this team to massively improve it and make it one that can not only challenge for the Europa League trophy this season, but also push for a Champions League finish this season. And becoming our first signing of the window is going to be João Felix signing from Al Nassr for 18 million. The 80-rated 26-year-old Portuguese player is now going to come in as a cam in the team, as a shadow striker behind a new striker we're going to sign, which we have sold Strand Larsen. But João Felix is signing for us. They could also play on the wing as well, a versatile player that's going to offer us a bunch this season. Hopefully can revive his career and make him the player he once looked like he was going to be when he left Benfica all those years ago. And next up, replacing Bayende as a first-team goalkeeper is the 29-year-old 81-rated Vanja Milinkovic-Savic, a 6'8" goalkeeper. The Bayende 6'6", so 2 tall goalkeepers we now have as options in the first team. So Bayende was a great goalkeeper for us last season, but since Milinkovic-Savic is 81 rated, I feel like he should be the first-team goalkeeper moving forward in the season. And suddenly here for a swap deal with Matesi plus 9 million. Going the other way to Torino, he will be a great goalkeeper for us. Our new number 1, Jose Sol, will be sold on Bayende. Like I said, will be a backup to Milinkovic-Savic in the team. And starting from Brighton to compete with Patrick Vimmer for the right wing role position in the team, or right mid position in the team, is Cooper Minte starting here for 28 million. He's 79 rated, very, very pacey winger, who is obviously not the best end product, but decent end product in this game. That he can be a great bench player for us off the bench, coming on for Patrick Vimmer at some point. And like I said, we'll get a bunch of first team opportunities this season to try to take over that role in the squad. And Minte for 28 million is going to be a fantastic option for us in this team here this season. And before we move forward in today's episode, I thought I'd get you guys' opinions on who we should actually sign for the new centre-back role in the team. We're replacing either Agbadu or also Gomez or Totti in the team. And we've got a bunch of centre-backs you can see here by the options. Mikel is a player that you guys suggested in the comments down below. We do bring into the team 28 years of age now these days, 79 rated, 6'2", could be a good option for us in the squad. But we also have a bunch of other options here that I thought about we could bring in. The first being Thomas Araujo from Benfica, great pace, great defending, and would be a fairly expensive player, but would be great quality for us in the team. Hartwell Bellis would be a good backup option. That's why he is set on the bench, on the shortlist, to be a backup centre back if we do need to sign him at some point. I think he would be a great player for us in this team. Renato Veiga, another Portuguese player we could bring in, left-footed, 6'3", and would be incredible for us in that centre-back role. I reckon not too expensive and would be a great player for us with obviously good potential as well. Can also play CDM and can do a job at left-back or right-back if needed at some point as well. We've got Nathan Collins, who obviously used to be a Wolves centre-back if I'm not mistaken. We could return him to the team. Not the fastest, but obviously tall, physical, good play styles as well, and not the most expensive player we could bring in from Brentford, who got relegated last season. Next up is I can't even speak, is Eduardo Quaresma, the Portuguese right back, 6 foot, again, fairly cheap in price tag, very pacey, good defensive play styles as well, and great stats to go along with it. Would be a great player for us in the team. And same can be said about Josip Sotelo, with intercept and anticipate play style. He's 6'1" Croatian centre back. Would be incredible for us. Can also play left back as well, I do believe. If I'm not mistaken, I think he's played fullback before in his career. And again, similar to Kreshma and also Vega, fairly cheap for his price and the player that he would be in the team for obviously only 22 to 28 million. And you can see by his price tag right there. Next up is Ryan Flamingo, the 6'1" Dutchman from PSV Eindhoven. Obviously a bunch of incredible players, as you can see right there, including Anticipate, Bruiser, and Intercept. A very, very physical defender, great stats, as you can see right there as well. And again, the price tag isn't that expensive for the player that he is. He would be fairly cheap considering how good he would be in this team. And next up is going to be Joe Gomez, who's here as a player that's fairly cheap, a proven player, would be more of a backup player possibly as well in the team. 29 years of age, that's why he is here. Because again, he would be a quality backup player for us. At some point if we need him, similar to Hotwood Bellis, I think he would be a great backup player. But drop in the comments down below who we should buy for the first team centre-back role. And signing here from Strasbourg to take over the striker role for Sean Lawson when he does eventually leave is Emmanuel Omega, the 6'5", I believe, Dutchman, who's on his way to Chelsea next season, IRL. The former, I can't remember who he played for previously in the Eredivisie, but he's been a talent I've known about for a bunch of years now. 23 years of age, 81 rated. Obviously, going to be joining Chelsea, like I mentioned, next season in real life, so he's going to get a chance there to develop and get some game time in the Premier League. So hopefully here in this week can be a great player for us. And you can see Sean Lawson is still here. The offers we've got for him just haven't made sense to let him go to. But Omega joins to be our backup striker right now up until Sean Lawson does leave us. And for the first game of the season, we're taking on Liverpool, the team we did beat in the FA Cup final last season in, well, one of the final games we did play in, well, the final game we did play in yesterday's episode. To get into this one, and you can see João Felix, Milinkovic-Savic are going to make their debuts in this one. Patrick Vieira is going to play down the right-hand side. Omega will be on the bench for this one, the same with Yankuba Minte on the bench as well. And our bench is getting even better. We do also have Tommy Doyle back from his loan spell at Birmingham City, a player I do want to give game time to. And also Pedro Lima will be a backup right back to Chachua this season. Let's get into this game now, up against Liverpool, and hopefully we can win win the Community Shield to start the season off with after beating Liverpool previously in the FA Cup final. And well, as you saw by the starting 11, obviously Sean Lawson is still here at the club. That is because the offers we have got for him so far, being from clubs that are actually below us in the table, like the Crystal Palace, teams like that, Aston Villa, Nottingham Forest, and I just don't understand why we're not getting transfer offers from teams outside the Prem. All we're pretty much getting is swap deals between Prems and other teams in the Prem, which I'm obviously not going to accept because they're not worth our doing. As we have the opportunity to play through Patrick Vieira, obviously playing on the right hand side for the start of the season anyway. And loft it up into the centre, looking for João Felix in the centre, who's got a hat-trick. Gomez, now an 82 rated player. Vimmer. Sean Lawson releases Vimmer here. And Patrick Vimmer charging through. He has to get the shot away. Vimmer shoots, and the shot was not the greatest. Set up so well defensively. Verts. Conor Bradley, that's good defending from Wolf. It's a ball forward here into Yereme. Had a great season on his debut season here at Wolves, but here's Sean Lawson in the centre, and the header was tame, and Mamashvili makes a fairly comfortable save there. Rafinha knocks it forward. Agbady has to track back and try and stop him. Ball to the back post for Mohamed Salah, who shoots, and that's a good save there from Milinkovic-Savic. Here's to Sean Lawson. Over to Yereme. Van Dijk trying to stop us, and that pass actually went to Vimmer. Okay, I didn't expect that. That was meant to go to João Felix. And Vimmer. Ball across. Andre shoots, and it's a fairly tame effort, and Mamashvili makes a save. Forward hit into Conor Bradley. Back into Salah. Salah now getting inside, but he cuts back. Salah now trying to work a pass or a shot. Finds Conor Bradley again, the right back. Evan Birch to Verts. Blocked there by Gomez. Falls back to Babadi. Salah, Ekitike, Gomez. And get it to Yereme. I think it's Milos Kerkez. He's got the 6'5" Omega in the centre. Can he win the header? The ball's going to behind him. Omega does win the header, but it's going to go through to Mamashvili in the end anyway. On the turn here, trying to just fashion something. Find Andre. He's going to open João Felix would have come short there, but here is João Felix. Good move there by him. And Felix cuts it back. Near post strike from the Portuguese and Mamashvili. That would have been an incredible goal. And João Felix. He beat Van Dijk. João Felix does so. Can he shoot? And João Felix. And we get a last minute winner here. Yankuba Minte. Inside. Omega. Back through to Yankuba Minte on his debut. Minte shoots and it's saved by Manuel. It's going to go to penalties, I think, anyway. And it is. If we lose this game on penalties, it will be similar to the Man City game, a very undeserved loss, because we've been the better team in this game by far. We start João Felix, who should have scored 1 or 2 in this game. Got unfortunate not to do so. And he scores his pen. Alexander Isak v Vanja. He's 6 foot. Goalkeeper makes a save. Kind of a cheat code on penalties if I guess the right way, but the same with Manuel shooting for them. Gomez, sorry. Bottom left, comfortable penalty there. Now Vanja, would it go left again or right? Vanja, they're going to go left again, so Boschlei buries it. Now Omega, can you score your penalty? And Omega does do so. Now Rafinha, which way is it going to go? Vanja says bring it on. The bottom left, they go left again 3 times in a row. I swear to make the AI do this on purpose. The second I go left, they're going to go right. Minter. Bottom left. Guarantee I'm going to go right, they're going to go left. If we save this, we win. Throw inverts. Again. Oh, he missed. He hit the crossbar. Then we're going to go left 4 penalties in a row. We win. The committee assured a much deserved victory. We were by far the better team in this game. We deserved to score plenty of goals in this one, but somehow we didn't do so. But we win our first trophy of the season and our second one in the series after winning the Carabao Cup, not the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup last season. We win. The committee assured beating the league winners in Liverpool in this one here at Wembley as Florian Wirtz there hits the crossbar and the post of this penalty. And Vanja, well, he did make a save in the penalty shootout, which was to see. And we win the community shield. Not the biggest trophy, obviously, it's never a trophy that you really care about winning at the start of a season, but if you win the final, you'd rather win it than lose it to kind of set a precedent for the season. As we do so here, Totti gets to lift his second trophy as captain as Wolves and gets to lift the community shield here and prove that this season we're a team to take notice of. And for the first game in the Premier League season, we're going to be taking on Spurs at home in the Molineux. And, well, like I said, this is our first game of the season, and this could be Lawson's final game for us because Real Madrid just made an offer for him of 60 million, which I have accepted for him. So we could believe in, if everything goes away in terms of the contract, negotiations and stuff like that. Let's get into this one, though, up against them and give Sean Lawson, hopefully, a good send-off here. He's going to play about 60 minutes of football. We'll take him off for Omega to come on and hopefully do well in this game. And let's get into this one and hopefully continue our winning ways to beat Liverpool in the Community Shield and beat Spurs in the first game of the Premier League season. Well, I'm kind of glad that it was a home game for the final game for Sean Lawson to play for us because then he can get a proper send-off here at the Molineux and hopefully get a goal or some assists as Patrick Vimmer here. Played through and early on in this game, shoots in for Corio. There's no space there ready for him and João Felix. Let's play Grayson's coming in. Sean Lawson can't win the header, Danzo heads it away. And that's going to be a throw-in for us here. Oh, Gomez, that touch there. But thankfully, Andre wins it back. Over ahead to Vimmer. We'll play there by hitting Vimmer now. And play it across for a tap in, hopefully for João Felix at the back post. There's going to be a 1-goal lead for us in this one. And we score from open play in this game like we couldn't do against Liverpool. We deserved to score maybe 2 or 3 in that Liverpool game. We were by far the better team and thankfully we managed to win it in the end on that penalty shootout. It's great with Ethan Vimmer and João Felix here, a rise at the back post for a simple tap in there for himself, a well-timed run there and blast it into the back post to open up his account here as a Wolves player in the Premier League. Challenge, but they still have possession. Benson curve, but Andre intercepts where it's deflected and Maddison shoots and Vanja makes a fairly comfortable save there. Solanke out wider to Odobert. Agbery showed the pace to stop him. It's inside here. Odobert shoots and Vanja, you've got to catch that lad. To be fair, that tends to be FC26 most of the time. There we go, Sean Lawson. In his final game as a Wolves player, can he score in his final game at the Molineux when he does so? And we're going to celebrate if this is his final goal for us with the Wolves faithful. We're going to get about 60 million from Real Madrid if he does end up moving to the Stadio Bernabeu. And it would be a massive... The Santiago Bernabeu. Why did I say the Stadio? The Santiago Bernabeu. And Sean Lawson here scores in his final game as a Wolves player, most likely, and celebrates with his teammates and the fans. And maybe we could get 1 or 2 more goals with him in this one. That'd be a great send-off for him. We get a 2-goal lead in this game as well, which you'll have to see. Good block there from Wimmer. That was meant to go more into the box, but it goes to the edge of the box here. Gomez. Sean Lawson on the turn. Hits it. Sean Lawson for Corio. Makes the save, and it's going to be a corner for us. The referee gives it us. Interesting decision to let us have this corner. Ball in. Sean Lawson. Can he make it free before the hot-time break? And he's done so. And Sean Lawson could be on his way to the potted Wolves, but in his final game could be on the verge of scoring a hat-trick, which would be a massive way for him to leave, and a kind of a way to make us question selling him, because if he does leave and Omega doesn't work out for us, I think he should. But, you know, Sean Lawson's been a great player for us in this series overall. He's been a fantastic striker. He scores here. He's second before the half-time break to make it 3-0 here to us against Spurs, which we'll have to see. It's Mohamed Kudus, so I don't think got any involvement in the first half. I didn't see his name at any point. Wolf could defend in there. Addison, shot to Kulusevski. Ball inside. Headed down and not away. João Felix blocked there with a clearance Van de Ven. Ball through Kudus, and that's a poor effort there from him. He should have scored. Xavi Simons. Sean Lawson wants his hat-trick maybe, or wants to just get an assist. And Jerome across to João Felix, who somehow didn't connect with that ball. And Kudus now charging forward. He's still going here. Ball inside Solanke. There's good defending from Agbadou, and he's somehow served the ball. Simmons to Solanke. It's going to be a goal for Spurs here, isn't it? Vanja, what a save. Jerome. João Felix back through to Jerome. He cuts back here. Sean Lawson in the centre, shoots blocked. Jerome. Wimmer trying to get the shot away, blocked up again by Danzo. Real Madrid after scoring 2 goals. And Omega off the bench. Can he prove that he's a worthy replacement as he scores here to make it 4? And Spurs in this series have just been a team we haven't struggled against. We've beaten them 5-1 and the last time we played them, we were beating them 4-0 here. And Omega off the bench is showing to the Wolves players and the Wolves fans that Sean Lawson may be leaving, yes, but he can be a great striker for us in the team. And also we need to buy a backup striker as well for him. We'll discuss that at the end of the episode. Rodrigo Gomes. Jed Spencer is there though. I was just hoping we could beat him for a bit of pace there, but Jed Spencer intercepts, and that's going to be the end of the game. A 4-0 victory. 2 goals from Brun Lawson in his final game as a Wolves player. He leaves the Molineux to most likely join Real Madrid if that does go through. And he's saying goodbye here. It's going to start to see him go with 60 million. We're going to have a bunch of money to spend on new signings and all. It's sad to see him leave, yes, but we're on to bigger and brighter things in the future. And Omega shows that when he came off the bench, he can be a great striker for us in this team. And the next game, he will start in the starting 11. And Sean Lawson is finally getting a 10.0 rating. The same with João Felix, and also Blinkovic-Savic promoted there with a 9.5 as well. And the final game for Jacob Brun Lawson, he does get the Man of the Match award in a rise as well. Why do I keep saying Jacob? I've been saying Jacob Brun Lawson this whole episode. The Dutch player who used to play for Dortmund. I just realised it's Jurgen Sean Lawson. How long have I been doing that for? I hope I've not been doing that for like ages. My brain just autopiloted to Jacob Brun Lawson, and I just noticed that. That is weird. And as you can see, Jurgen Strand Lawson is leaving to go to Real Madrid for 58.3 million, basically rounded to what, we'll say 58 million he's going to leave us for. It's going to be sad to see him leave, but when Real Madrid gave me 58 million, I knew that was going to be the max I could get for him. His max market value was 60, so we get the most amount of money we could get for him. at this point in time anyway. It's sad to see him leave, yes, but Omega will be a great striker for us in the team, hopefully. And also, next episode, we will buy a backup striker to back up Omega in the team. For 58 million, Jurgen Strand-Larsen is headed to Real Madrid. And for the final game of today's episode, we're going to take on the team that just sacked Ange Postecoglou as their manager in Nottingham Forest after that lost to Chelsea, the 3-0 loss to them. I did see Postecoglou getting sacked as Forest manager, and hopefully they can bring in a manager that can keep them up in the Premier League this season. So it would be sad to see Forest leave the Premier League after such a good rise under Espirito Santos, and then the departure of him has completely messed up the club. And I do wish Forest did keep Nuno as a manager, because he was a great manager for them and would have achieved great things as the manager of Forest, but for some reason they let him go, and now Forest are in a position where they're free-falling down the Premier League table. They're just lost and can't get any wins. Obviously under Ange, that's why he got sacked. Let's get into this one though. Omega at striker for the first time in his first actual start for us as a player in the final game of today's episode. Let's get into this one and hopefully beat Forest there. See how well he can perform for us. João Felix has been a great player for us so far in this team. I've really liked him in that cam role. Omega here to Jerome, the Spaniard, charging forward, and he hits and he scores. 4 minutes in, we take the lead up against Nottingham Forest, and the Wolves that roam the forest are causing chaos here at this City ground. 4 minutes in anyway, we take the lead, and Jerome blasts one into the back of the net there, assisted by Omega. You'd love to see that on his first team, actual proper start. And that's a great finisher for Jerome to make it 1-0. And you'd love to see it. Gomez. Into Wimmer. And Jerome. Good turn there from him. Can he get a shot away from Ranger? Jerome, the Spaniard, hits it. And that's a fantastic goal. I did not expect that to go in. The keeper got a touch on it, but there was no stopping that strike. You can't boo that as Forest fans. You can't boo that goal. You need to just stand up and applaud. That's what you do for a goal like that. And Jerome has got himself a double early in this game. Did the keeper get a touch? I think he did get a touch, but that effort was incredible. With power and pace in off the post. He makes it 2-0 and gets a brace for himself early in this game. Just right at the back there. It's got a defender from Gomez over Wimmer. Ball up here to João Felix. We're just trying to find a better space, but my own plays were in the way. That was so annoying then. I couldn't literally get any space there. Gives White. Ball through. That's a great pass there through to Dan Ndoye. And Banjo, what a save that is. What a start he's had in this team, by the way. He's made some insane saves. There's a bad pass there from Wolf, but thankfully Totti. Good defending there. Eddie Anderson. Blocked by Agbery, but somehow actually worked out for him. As backwards, got through. Backwards shoots. And Banjo. What a save. Again from him. And Vandra comes out and collects the corner as well. Love to see it. João Felix. Through here to Jerome. And Jerome. It's Omega, but it's deflected and it goes through to the keeper. And here's Kellen Wendo, who shoots on Vandra. Good save there. Minton now with the pace. Inside here he is. Wanky trying to cross the Kierkegaard, who shot his blocks, but it goes through. And what was that header? That was a touch. I told him to head. Why didn't you shoot? I pressed circle there. The second the ball landed in front of him there for the header, I told him to shoot. Minter. Good steal. Near post strike from him, and he scores. I'm still perplexed why Kierkegaard didn't head that ball into the back of the net. Instead he tried to take a touch with his head, which I don't understand. But Minter gets his first goal here in the Premier League for Wolves. You'd love to see a player that's going to push Patrick Wimmer to his best in the team, and vice versa. And Minter here scores to make it 3-0. He's got a big victory here. And in all 3 games we've played in today's episode, we're yet to concede a goal. That's been due to how good we've been defensively, but also how good Vandy's been in goal for us. And Gomez, Reece James is there. Good hold-up play from him. Kierkegaard across. And that's blocked by David Ramos. Somehow doesn't end up in the back of the net from the shot from Gomez. I'm not too sure how we didn't score there. I really don't know how we didn't score. I'm going to whip this one into the centre and try to win this header here. It's going to be headed away. And that's going to be ended again. It's going to be a 3-0 victory away from home against Forest. And a big victory at that for us. And like I said, 3 for 3. 0 goals conceded. And a great start for us in Season 2 here as Wolves manager. And a new signings have looked great so far. No goal for Omega in this game. He played pretty good at striker, linking up play. I did like the way he was linking up with lots of Jerome, etc. And what a game Jerome had. Those 2 goals that he scored. And an overall, a fantastic performance from this team here. Dan Moore, that's going to call it for the start of Season 2 in today's episode. And what a start it's been to our new season here with 3 wins back-to-back. The Community Shield with Pittsburgh as well. 0 goals conceded in an open play. The only goals we did concede was in that penalty shootout in the Community Shield. And Omega as striker has looked pretty good so far. I do think that he is going to get better as the season goes on, as we do figure out how to really link up the play with João Felix and Wimmer and Jerome around him. But he's looked pretty good so far. The midfielders are looking great as well as usual. Our defence, also we need to improve it. Next episode with the players I showed you earlier in today's episode for you guys to choose who we do bring in. We also need a backup striker for Omega. And I believe I do have a couple of players on the shortlist. I might have shown them in today's episode or not, I'm not too sure. But in terms of money we do have currently, after selling Sean Lawson, we do have 150 million to spend on new players next episode. After spending 160 million already, we're going to spend like 230 million this season on new transfers, which is pretty insane to think about. I meant to go over here to the transfer shortlist to look at strikers. And in terms of strikers we do have, in terms of backup strikers, Ivanovic would be a decent option. I think he could be a great backup striker to Omega. A little bit different, a little bit shorter, still a physical striker with a bit of height as well. I think he could be a great player. But in terms of other backup players, we have Hollerback from Mainz, a pacey striker, good at end product as well, could be a great player off the bench that can do well for us. And also Amdouni from Burnley, this Swiss striker, can play cam as well. 77 rated, not the fastest, but as you can see, his end product is pretty good. His stats are very well rounded. 4-star weak foot, 6'1". And Cameron Archer here is another option we could bring in, but I feel like it's mainly between Amdouni, Hollerback, and Ivanovic for the backup striker role. And again, in terms of centre backs that we could bring in, it's Mukele, Araujo, Hardwood Bellis, who's moved to Montpellier as a backup, Renato Vega at Villarreal, Nathan Collins, who's actually joined Villarreal as well. Interesting, those two are partnering with each other right now. If we don't sign one of them, Eduardo Quaresma has moved to Bologna, but he could be a fantastic defender for us. Josip Totalo as well, who we could bring in, and also Ryan Flamengo. One of these defenders will sign for us next episode to be our first team defender, alongside either Agbadu or Totti Gomez, whoever plays best in the team. And Joe Gomez as well could be a backup player. And Mark Benal is the player that you guys have suggested we do bring into the team, but I just feel like with the likes of Tommy Doyle, Kiergaard, players we do have in the scene are backup players. He won't get much game time, and I just feel like he would be a player that gets lost in the shuffle. And a player of his quality deserves to be a first-team player, or at least a second-string player. But right now, with the players we have in that midfield position, he just won't really get game time. I can see we've got Kiergaard, we've got Tommy Doyle as backup players for the midfield role, we've got Shore as well here, and I just feel like we don't need them. Like in terms of midfield, I like Kiergaard and Doyle; those two look pretty good. Lopez, Gomez, I feel like I might take Gomez off and put Tommy Doyle there as another option, as we do have Arias as a cam as well, same with Wang Ki-chan in that position. But yeah, drop in the comments down below who we should send to be the backup striker, who we should bring in to take over one of the 2 centre-back roles in the team. I feel like Agbadu would be the player that I do drop, as Totti Gomez does have, he's 27, and he is the captain of the team. But basically, I'm just going to rotate the defence. Whoever plays best will start in the team. We're going to stop waffling for this outro. If you're going to enjoy the episode, drop a like and subscribe. And as always, thank you for watching, and goodbye.